Welcome to another edition of Consensus on Reality. Before we get into today's episode, we would like to invite you to join our Patreon at patreon.com/consensusunreality.
For just $5 a month, you can access exclusive episodes, written content, and more. Join the discussion over at patreon.com/consensusunreality to help support our show. And now here's the episode.
No, I can't wait.
Gotta be on the program. Welcome to a Patreon exclusive episode of Consensus on Reality.
Yeah, so this terrible, my fucking iPhone got hacked.
Yours too?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
And they think I'm Hunter Biden.
That's funny stuff.
So you're back from a long Midwestern voyage, huh?
That's true. It's insane that like there's so much stuff to talk about. Like I have so much to talk about in terms of my occult influenced journey through the ancient land of Ohio. It's true. It is the land of the ancients. Don't laugh at it. You scoff. True. You think it's so funny. It's a flyover state. Well, F you, man.
Yeah, it's a flyover state. Let's talk more about like New York. Let's talk about Philadelphia.
Shut up.
Let's talk about Boston.
Also went down into Kentucky. I have some great anecdotes there, but I think maybe let's do the rundown of current events because while I was gone, like so much crazy shit happened.
Yeah, more than I think it was either because the Georgia Guidestones got exploded or it was because of CERN. But now like the cap is off the crazy jug and it's just getting splashed on the world. Yeah,
man. The CERN thing is a really funny coincidence. They fired up CERN, what is this, like the fourth time or something, I think?
Yeah, not that many. And for some reason it really caught on in like the New Age circles, or like the post-QAnon like Zoomer circles where it's like everyone's talking about timeline jumping and like making it to a different timeline.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty crazy because we still live in a paradigm that is like wholly influenced by Newtonian rational concepts of physics, but the like leading minds in quantum physics openly talk about the most like quote unquote science fiction concepts of like discovering things like the Higgs boson, the God particle, but also like parallel universes. And that stuff has an interesting relationship to like the vortex rituals that we were talking about with Nema and the Bait Cabal.
I mean, I guess they're just like throwing particles at each other, like slightly bigger particles this time, as fast as they possibly can. So I guess it's really not that far-fetched to think it might. And I'm sure there's probably 3 or 4 new Mandela effects that have kind of cropped up since then.
Yeah, sure.
I think Britney Spears is now wearing a black skirt in the one music video. I think that's one instead of a checkered skirt.
And that's interesting.
And I think it's Hit Me Baby One More Time, or one of those.
Really?
Yeah, everyone remembers a checkered, like a plaid skirt, and
right.
now it's black.
I'll have to look into that. I feel like in my head I'm seeing like a tweed kind of.
Yeah, right. That's what it's supposed to be.
pattern. Yeah.
Now it's black. Unless that was a meme joke, but like, it looked like people were actually talking about it. So I don't know. It could be something.
The whole
Things certainly are weirder now.
Yeah. The concept of like CERN opening a portal and affecting timelines, that specifically is like kind of what the Bait Cabal was doing with their workings and stuff, was time rituals, that's kind of an interesting connection that I found on the road through Ohio, kind of backtracking through these mystery lands. That was kind of a funny sync. And then there was the Chicago shooter.
That was and that, like, I forgot about that.
That was in the beginning. Yeah.
That was right before the Guidestones CERN nexus. But yeah, that guy, and that's like,
it's been a crazy week.
That was less than like a week ago, or that was like a week ago, and for some reason it feels like that was years ago. Like, time is really, really messed up. Like, just like, it's so out of sync. And there was so much stuff in that too. It was just like this big stew of parapolitical signifiers, and like,
right.
And it just like it really felt right out of like thing.
Yeah. This quote says, in these works, 23 is considered lucky, unlucky, sinister, strange, sacred to the goddess Eris, or sacred to the unholy gods of the Cthulhu mythos. I mean, Robert Anton Wilson spoke at length about the 23 mystery, which kind of coincided with Robert Temple's
I think so.
Serious Mystery, which I've now read that some people believe Robert Temple might be a pseudonym, which is kind of interesting.
Because
I don't know, but it's like such a foundational book at that time for so much stuff. Like, it seemed like it was a very influential text for different people when it came out. But it's crazy too, because there's also the Hellier connection to Sirius through the blue star, the star sapphire ritual, which they cite. I think even Grimstad or Jim Brandon mentions things about Sirius in Rebirth of Pan and stuff, and that's kind of a crazy roundabout connection to the Guidestones too, with the pseudonyms and stuff.
And I feel like at this point in history, I feel like Jim Brandon just sounds like a insulting name for the president.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's like, there's trickster elements to all this shit too, like the capsule that was opened in the Guidestones.
Incredible.
The crater at the Serpent Mound. But he was a really interesting guy, and he actually told me, which I didn't know about. He was like, "Did you visit the water serpent?" And I didn't realize that there was like another aspect of the Serpent Mound, but he said there's a part of the Serpent Mound that's this rock formation that looks like a submerged, undulating serpent, and that's a place where he actually would go, led by a Native American who was performing these water rituals there, and they would do these like water rituals, and then they would swim down the stream after the ritual. And I came to find that actually some musicians that were friends of friends were actually a part of this group too, and were involved in these ceremonies, and I found that pretty interesting. There was a lot of encountering of this Cherokee myth or symbol of the water panther, which has a relationship to the serpent. And I actually saw a really nice petroglyph of this water panther, which was at in Point Pleasant near the Mothman Museum. But this is something that got me interested, because I've been really interested in the panther as this symbol since I had like this weird big cat sighting after we did our cryptids episode with Mike Bruno.
Right.
But it's also something that, you know, Kenneth Grant writes about, but the water panther is revered within the Cherokee and other Native American tribes. It's also in the Goblin universe. There's that whole chapter on big cat sightings. And there's like a lot of weird panther sightings in Kentucky, in Ohio. Yeah, it's just kind of an interesting symbol, and these dual symbols are really interesting too, like the serpent and the water panther having this relationship. There's also the serpent and the eagle and the.
I just saw that there was a turtle symbol on the alternate universe Rock Shop T-shirt.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of people believe that the head of the serpent is actually a turtle, which is pretty interesting because people say that it has legs.
That's strange. Yeah, because I've been having all those turtle synchronicities and still am.
Right. Totally. Yeah.
And I don't know what I'm supposed to do. What do you want from me? I don't even really care about turtles.
Yeah, outside the rock shop, there was this giant wood. I'm going to scale it to 5.23 miles.
Doing mine at 7.77 kilometers.
Yeah, and we'll basically kind of generate. I'm going to generate a void.
Visit and join at patreon.com/consensusunreality for exclusive episodes, written content, and more. I repeat, patreon.com/consensusunreality for horrible spells and artificially intelligent overlords.